Would you do this? One item, 800 pounds.
I might do it. I might. Yeah, I might do it.
See, I would. I don't have a van like you, but I would. Like I was pissed. I was like, if I had a van, I would take this.
I mean, considering like sometimes I may have to drive up to Charlotte to get one, and then kind of work from there. I mean, I'm I might do that one. Really, I might.
I mean,
Knowing that I
again,
got knowing
we
that I got
always hope on
750 in the
something
pocket.
coming back too. You could
Yeah.
always, it's not like you're just going and saying there won't be anything coming back. You're hoping on something, even if it's a partial something.
Right.
Something.
Yeah, that's what you're hoping for something. I mean, hey, if you can just get, well, I'd be thinking like this then. If I can make like another $300 on the way back, then I'm okay.
Yeah.
I've broken even based on a mile argument and all. But if I just want to
but what if you can't? What if you're not 100% sure and this is all you can count on?
Then again, I'd be it's not one I would just readily turn down.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd probably think about it the entire time that I have to make that decision, whether if I want to drive those type of miles or not.
Right.
You know, I'm looking at, I mean, you're talking open road. Okay. Assuming that you're driving 70 miles an hour, you are driving 8 hours in one direction. So basically you're talking all day. That's the other thing that I'd be thinking about. 8 hours. So you're talking all day.
Yeah.
Whatever time you leave, you're talking all day if you drive back. If you do that, then you have to ask yourself, is it worth it?
Yeah. And then the other thing, I mean, one of the things I can tell you guys is that it's not shown on this map, but right above Denver is Cheyenne and Laramie, Wyoming. They're about 2-3 hours away. A lot of times there's Cheyenne and Laramie coming to Denver runs. So, I mean, you would be like, after you drop this off, you'd just be even watching for one of those as you got into Wyoming. You know,
then you can really attempt to justify taking that particular trip, even though you know that you're talking all day.
Right. I mean, in a perfect world, and this is what the DoorDashers and everybody does, right, is the $1 per mile. In a perfect world, we want $1 per mile each way, but that usually doesn't happen with these. They get close sometimes. But in all honesty, not doing the $1 a mile, but what would be the number for you anyway, where you would just look at this and go, yep, I'll take it without even blinking, and not at the $1 a mile each way. But
I mean, just on that dollar amount for the type of work, $750 for that type of work, which obviously is fitting in a van, that's easy. You can say that's easy money. You can say that's easy money.
But you pointed out it's 8 hours each way.
Right. But you're asking me based on, forget, you're just saying, looking at dollar amount, looking at what you're taking, that would be easy money.
Yeah.
Okay. But the $1 a mile thing, I posted something yesterday, 2 catering orders. One of them was like $700+. It was going 2 miles, but it was paying $35. Okay. So that means $14 a mile. The other order was $210, paying $41 and change, going 5 miles. There were a couple folk who took the first one. They would take that one over the second one. But I'm like, to me, I'm like, that's a bad move. I'm taking the second one. Yeah. That's more, that's a win. That's a win. You're not dealing with as much items. You're going to be in and out, and you're making more money. How can you justify then that you taking one, in this case was actually going across a freeway to a hospital, is worth your while on a catering order that was $700+, $20 base, $15 tip. The other one was $15 base, $25 tip, $25 plus tip. I think that's what it was. The second one's the second one to me is the better one than the first one.
Oh yeah.
So $1 a mile is a factor, but it's not the end all.
Yeah, like here, minimum $1 a mile, period. And I get this. I do get it. Trust me. And then he's, for that delivery to make sense, you'd need it at least 1K. See, I don't. I see Josh said, where did he say 800? Yeah. So Josh has been doing Curri for a while now too, and he's saying it would need to be close to 800. What I do for these, you guys, just so you know, I'll bring it back up. What I do for these, let me take Josh's comment off, is I say, now my new thing, and it doesn't, again, I can always change it, but I do I do $1 a mile going with the product, and I try and like at least get it to the point where it's 50 cents a mile coming home.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty close, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, another $100 and it is $1 a mile going and 50 cents a mile coming back.
Right. Well, someone said now you're putting 1,200 miles on your car. Again, well,
yeah,
it depends on it depends on you know something. You can drive 1,200 miles in a city and tear up your vehicle.
Yeah.
1,200 miles on the road is easy on your vehicle because you're it's moving at a constant RPM. You're not, unless you're driving 9,500 miles an hour. If you're driving 70, 75, depending on what most engines, if it's a 6-cylinder, you're going at about 2,250 RPM. If you got an 8-cylinder, 6-speed transmission, you're probably going about 1,700 RPM. You're barely breaking a good idle.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of stress on your engine. You're going to be much easier on your vehicle on the road with those miles than you are in the city.